All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Welcome again to the Liberty Stream. Oh, burp right out of nowhere. Oof. Oof. That's how you know it's going to be a good stream. Troy is available. He's just on the other side. So, there he is. Hello, how are you? I know, it's been raining all day, and you've been annoyed. Because I keep making you go on walks when it's raining. And your feet are wet. Okay, moving on. Today we are going to be playing The Council, which we have been playing all this week. And hopefully we'll get finished with episode 3 by the end of this.
The only thing I can tell you is that Sarah had indeed changed. In your opinion, why would your mother remain in hiding over several weeks?
You must leave me alone now. I have agreed to everything, even to...
But you do realize your mother will have to accept the consequences of her acts.
I hope that your search will prove successful and bring Sarah back to us soon.
I'll be leaving now because whatever it is you're up to, I do not want to know.
Since then, we have become one and the same. We have officially erased the identity of my sister Emma. Emily Hillsborough. The woman with two faces.
Everyone seems to be a little unnecessarily heated. Don't forget where you are, please.
Wow, they're starting us off with a bang. Manipulation is down here. I need to get at least one of these to 3. So, manipulation, occultism. I don't care about those because those are already 2. Science? Nah. Logic. Yep, logic good. Click. Nope. Subterfuge? Nope. Linguistics. Yep. Conviction or diversion. They're both the same, so we'll do diversion.
Louis, the conference is about to start any minute. This is not the time to be...
Huh.
Damn it. What's going on?
I don't know exactly, Mr. President. I was looking for my mother and I came upon this body.
My God. You don't think Sarah did it, do you?
Yes.
No, I don't think so. Why would she have attacked a servant?
If no one saw you, I'd advise you not to get involved, Louis, so that no one will accuse you of the murder. Ah, darn, the conference is starting. Time is of the essence. Sort this out and join us as quickly as you can in the conference room. Everyone will be expecting you.
Mr. President, this is not really the right time, and I didn't come for that.
Your mother's seat cannot remain vacant. You must replace her while she's still missing. Your mother and I were to support Mortimer on this project. I don't know what the subject is, but the future of our countries depends on it. Given the importance of all this to Mortimer, he won't let the conference begin without you. So if you don't want more servants coming looking for you, I'd advise you to join us quickly and to put a brave face on it. The best favor you can do for yourself, Louis, and for Sarah, is to come and support Mortimer's project at the conference.
Look, I don't mind following you, but I should warn you. I have no idea what this is all about. So I can't make any promises as to what I might do. I shall make my decision after the debate, when the time comes.
Ah,
Next time I
well,
just finished getting the
as you
plaid
wish.
on Trials of Mana. Nice!
you will see once you hear everything. But given the situation, I think you will have everything to gain by joining Mortimer's side. I'm going. Don't be long.
How many
Tell
plaids
them
does
I'm on
that
my
give
way.
you, Omni?
Oh, he's dead.
Duh.
What the hell's been going on here? Somebody smashed him in the back of his head with something. He slowly bled to death. But that isn't what killed him. They broke his neck.
What? 77? Good lord.
Let's see what secret's hidden under these masks. His face doesn't ring a bell. I'm a bit disappointed.
Huh.
Might have expected more from Lord Mortimer. Mother, if this is your doing, the situation is getting worse and worse.
Yeah, that puts my 50 perfect games in Steam to shame.
Leftover food. Ugh, not exactly fresh. Must have been here for a while. Someone's made a fire here. And the ashes are still warm. If you're the one who did it, Mother, it couldn't have been easy with only one hand. I must have just missed her. If only I hadn't wasted so much time getting out of Lord Mortimer's study. An old blanket. From the looks of it, it couldn't have kept her very warm. Leftover food.
Sim McG, dude!
Not exactly fresh. Must
Dude!
have been here for a while.
Dude! What's mine say? Sweet! What's mine say? Dude!
Well, the gate is locked.
What's mine say? Sweet! What's mine say? Dude! Dude! What's mine say? Sweet! Did you hear about the cheese frac? Did you hear about the cheese factory in France that exploded? There is nothing left but debris. That's really good. Immediately. I was running for my list of cheeses trying to figure it out. Is there anything for me to pick up here? I don't think so. I think I've already picked everything up in this area. But see, McG, how you doing today? Inventory not picked up, so let me grab this guy. I didn't... you're gonna tell me to... Wait. Maybe I can talk to you and you... give me
Monsieur
stuff.
Dorichet, you are expected at the conference. Please take the door to your left to join the guests.
So, this one? Wait, what's that? Is that more royal jelly? That was fun. Half the program that I was running just... Half of the programs I was running just crashed at the same time. That sucks! Where's my drink? My beverage.
I have suspected it.
This game's pretty good. It's a nice little puzzle interactive story game. Meet Lord Mortimer. So I'll see what I can steal first. Oh, what is he gonna say? Oh look, Amber.
Amber.
Amber. Oop, piece of coin.
A chest with a motif representing the alchemical symbol of water.
Your conjecture is totally wrong, I assure you.
I have suspected it for some time, but now I am convinced.
I was about to say, I think I have both these keys now.
Your desire.
Are you quite sure, sir? Is there not a little mistake somewhere?
Yes, because she asked him at last, and he could not help answering her, but she said he seemed
Oh,
quite angry
whoops.
at being spoken to.
But it is not sound. You know it is not sound.
Your conjecture is totally wrong, I assure you.
I have suspected it for some time.
No. Anything for here for me to steal? I guess not.
Are you quite sure?
Yep, that's stuff for me to steal. You are who I talk to in order to advance the story. Noink. And anything in the center here? Okay, now that I have officially pilfered the area.
My son, glad you're here. It seems Lord Mortimer's been waiting for you to arrive before beginning. What a pity your mother isn't here for the conference.
Oh, I think she'll make an appearance.
I'll be able to see her before I leave. I still have a very important letter to give to her.
Feeling all right, Louis? You look like you're miles away.
Everything's fine. Don't worry.
Lord Mortimer wants to talk to you, Louis. Don't make him wait.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you ever found what you were looking for in the garden, but Mortimer is waiting for you. I suggest you get a move on.
You say it as if you were afraid of him. I sense that you have things you'd like to say, but something's holding you back. What is going on between you two?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I believed in him. I followed him to the best of my ability. I championed his ideas, defended his decisions, and then, without even realizing it, I became lost. The siren's song, Monsieur de Richet. You wake up one morning, not knowing where you are, and you think about everything you've done for a man who wasn't even worth it. For a man who has no respect for you, who uses you, and who drops you as soon as he no longer needs you. For me, it's too late now. But you still have a choice. Don't respond to his call, sir.
Interesting.
Good
A
evening,
lot of people in the
gentlemen.
game rocking the
Are we ready?
sideburns.
The much-awaited conference is about to begin.
That is what we have all
Might
been
have been
waiting
the
for.
haircut of the
I
times.
believe that Lord Mortimer wishes to speak to you before it begins. You should go and see him. Are you quite sure?
Yeah, so for the entire game I've been following Lord Mortimer. But I wonder if it's time to stop.
She's not acting by design, is she? Ah, Louis, I've been expecting you. Thank you for joining us. We are about to begin our conference. Let me explain what is at stake.
Thank you kindly. But what do you expect of me exactly? My mother's the one who's supposed to attend, not me.
That is indeed what was initially intended. Unfortunately, she still hasn't been found, and my guests can't stay here indefinitely. The conference must begin, and it would be truly beneficial to the Order to join in the project.
Reminds me of Carnival
Consequently,
Row,
I would like you
when
to
one of the
replace
reverse
her.
hints was he has money drops in it.
What
Yeah.
is at stake here is of the utmost importance.
It's important that the French Order gets their say. And should you need any advice, don't worry. You are not alone, Louis.
Very well. In concrete terms, how do you organize your discussions?
A conference is always organized the same way. There are two masters of ceremony who determine an important subject.
You and Sir Gregory, I presume.
Exactly. We shall be the masters of ceremony. It was our obligation to each bring to the table several guests in order to debate a subject. Once the debate is closed, a decision will be made by a vote of all the participants.
By a unanimous vote. If the project is not agreed on by all, then it will be rejected.
And neither of the two masters of ceremony have the right to vote.
It's up to the guests alone to decide, Louis. In other words, us.
Gregory and myself are merely the go-betweens. Finally, if the project is validated, each guest goes home and starts working to make it happen.
It can take years.
Can you give me an example of an event that was decided here before being implemented in the outside world?
Well, take the French Revolution. It was decided right here 2 years before its implementation in France.
What?
Concerning the case of the French Revolution, I wasn't invited. But as far as the American Revolution is concerned, Louis, I can testify that we planned it 5 years before implementing it, for example.
How long have you been active?
Oh, this tradition has more or less always existed, Louis. It has continued from generation to generation.
Do you often hold this kind of
So what I
society
say, they're
dinner?
responsible for
In
two
general,
major revolutions.
Once a year, but in actual fact, it tends to be events that dictate our gatherings.
Can you give me a brief explanation of the aim of it all?
Of course, Louis, I was coming to that. The aim of these meetings is to bring together the most influential people in order to think together about the future.
But the future of who?
Of the world, Louis.
Our desire is to steer the destiny of our respective countries for the good of all, and to no longer suffer the random hazards of history. Louis, let me keep you a moment. I would like to let you in on a secret before we begin, because I'm going to need your assistance. You see, the project I'm going to present concerns the territory of Louisiana in North America. It's currently Spanish territory, and I'm going to make the proposition to the Assembly for it to become French. My idea is to increase the territory of the United States. The first stone of this vast project consists of getting Spain to cede Louisiana to France. Once it becomes French, France will hand it over to the United States, which will then allow them to double the size of their territory. And that's where you come in. France and the United States, hand in hand, two democracies illuminating the world.
But why spread it over 2 phases? Why not announce the overall project immediately?
Unfortunately, if Spain were to hear that the intention of all this is to allow the United States to grow, they would never sign. Manuel Godoy is perfectly aware of President Washington's appetite. If the United States took Louisiana, Godoy would know full well that he will have lost the entire North American continent. Things must take place in several stages. Otherwise, the change will be too brutal, and he will have no choice but to reject the project. Take a look at them. Apart from President Washington, they all belong to monarchies. Do you really think they won't resist? Of course they'll fight, fearful as they are of losing their precious privileges. But the world needs visionaries, like you, like your mother. It's a pity Sarah isn't here to see it. She only knew about a tiny part of the project. I hope I can count on you, Louis. It's time to start now. I must ask you to keep it to yourself for the time being. Take a seat, follow the discussions. We'll have an opportunity to catch up later, and you'll be able to let me know your thoughts.
But...
My friends, I propose we get started.
How did I know where to sit?
First of all, I would like to thank you for taking the time to come.
The honor is ours, my lord.
As per our custom, here we are all together to discuss the face of tomorrow's world. Even though there may be certain tensions between our nations, I must ask you to keep an open mind. As Sarah de Richet is unable to be among us, please welcome Louis de Richet, who will represent the Golden Order and will vote on its behalf when the time comes.
Welcome among us, Louis.
Welcome, Monsieur.
I hope he'll be more effective than his mother regarding the protection of the King of France. The Order has proved particularly inefficient.
Come, Manuel, you're not going to spoil our visit. The Order's mission was not to protect King Louis XVI, as far as I am aware.
We are talking about a king of divine blood, for goodness sake. It seemed obvious to me he needed protecting. If the Golden Order wants to pride itself on being an influential organization, it should have kept him alive.
Thank you all. I am honored to be among you today. I will strive to represent the interests of the Order as best I can.
Perhaps we may begin, Lord Mortimer.
Certainly. I have a dream that our nations will continue to support each other, more now than ever before. A dream that, for the sake of common good, we will do what it takes to ensure stability in the modern world. I have a dream that we shall lead by example and ensure that the American territory may remain in peace.
Thank you for the thought, Lord Mortimer, but I don't see where you're leading.
I'm coming to it, Mr. President. I need not remind you that North America is currently divided between the United States on the east coast and Spain, which occupies the remaining 2/3 of the continent. Well, I propose that Spain cede the center of the continent to France, namely all of Louisiana.
Louisiana? But, well, it is not for sale. Lord Mortimer, I sincerely hope I have not come all this way just to hear you ramble on about what Spain should and should not do. When we went to all the trouble of gaining the territory a few years ago, it was not just to lose it today. Have I made myself clear?
What did I tell you, William? You speak of union, and yet here you are, about to tear us apart.
Duke Manuel, I perfectly understand you. But rest assured, you will soon adore my proposition. You shall see.
Well, since you give me the choice, my good fellow, allow me to doubt it. However, I am impatient to hear what Spain could possibly gain from the sale of Louisiana.
I never spoke of a sale, my good fellow.
What? I do not understand.
There is one more territory left to conquer, if I'm not mistaken, in the northwest. It is, of course, occupied by your notorious Indians, but...
We shall soon be rid of the savages, so that is not the question.
Duke Manuel, I believe that Spain should cede Louisiana to France, free of charge.
This is utterly grotesque, Lord Mortimer. What a strange example you set for your young protégé. Isn't that so, Monsieur de Richet? Do you understand anything of this proposition?
We are neighbors, Duke Manuel. Remember, your main rival in Europe is more likely to be England, who is plowing the seas right up your coastline. Hand over Louisiana to France and make her a prime ally.
Come, Louis. Spain and Great Britain are already allies and have nothing to gain by breaking their alliance.
Even if I do agree, Duchess, the omnipresence of the English fleet in Atlantic waters does not particularly please me.
I must say, William, I find your project mostly disfavors me. I thought you were my friend.
And I am, Mr. President. That is why I'm doing everything in my power to calm your expansionist fervor. France, in Louisiana, should persuade you not to attempt anything to take the territory by force. Louisiana is a vast wetland where you would needlessly lose most of your troops. It would weaken you and offer certain nations the perfect opportunity to take back your famous United States. I am protecting you from yourself, George. Trust me.
I understand. But with friends like you, sir, I certainly don't need any more enemies. I hope you know what you're doing.
Am I imagining things, or does it look like Washington isn't aware of Mortimer's plan?
Not to put too fine a point on it, Lord Mortimer, but I doubt the Holy See would be in favor of Catholic Louisiana being handed over to secular revolutionaries and king killers.
I should think Monsieur de Richet has an opinion on this subject, does he not?
Your Eminence, have no fear over that. I am sure France will do everything in its power to protect the Christians of Louisiana.
My young friend, how can you come out with such a remark after the discussion we had on the evening of your arrival? If France was so respectful of worship, it would not be bleeding priests as it is doing at this very moment in time. Don't be naive. This is politics. The Holy See must be concerned at seeing such a
I'm not doing very well.
territory falling into the hands of the French. Mi auguro che insegnerete l'educazione a questo giovanotto presuntuoso, Sir Gregory.
I hope that you will teach this pretentious young man some manners, Sir Gregory. It looks like I won't be just making friends here.
In any case, my lord, I doubt the English crown will agree.
Ich versichere Ihnen, Emily, nie Preußen wird diese Vereinbarung akzeptieren.
I assure you, Emily, the Prussian will never accept this agreement. Volner looks like he's set on ruining Mortimer's plan.
Duchess, I am persuaded that we shall find a common ground.
That's enough, William. These are grave times. We don't care about the fate of Louisiana. That worthless expanse of putrid swamps interests no one but yourself.
Speak for yourself, my friend.
Hold on there, Mr. Royal Gigolo. Lower the volume, and let Sir Gregory finish.
Home, Godoy, and now Volner? Mortimer's adversaries are ready to tear each other to pieces, and he takes a malicious pleasure in watching it happen.
How dare you!
Gentlemen, let us try to remain calm.
There you are, William. See where your projects have taken us, as per usual. Chaos! That's enough. I'm tired. We shall continue this discussion tomorrow, but please be aware that your project will never be ratified. Those who are opposed to this project, follow me. Are you coming with us, Monsieur de Richet?
Come, Gregory, I think Louis would rather stay. Wouldn't you, Louis?
As for me, I think I shall remain with Lord Mortimer, Sir Gregory.
You are committing a grave error, Louis.
Time will tell.
My friends, I would like to thank you for staying.
Good God, William. What is this I hear about you reinforcing military power in Louisiana? I have no interest in having France for a neighbor, and you know that very well.
Calm down, George. Louis, explain our plan to Mr. Washington, please.
You see, Mr. President, Lord Mortimer anticipates that once France obtains Louisiana, they will cede it to you.
What do you mean? To us? The United States?
You heard right.
But
President Washington, the United States will double in size.
By what miracle have you...
You need to expand, George. You and France are the two major democracies in the modern world. It is necessary that you both become superpowers.
Are you really going to sponsor democracy throughout the world?
Of course, Monsieur Peru. That's why I don't want Spain to get too attached to those wetlands. Please continue, Louis. Explain my vision to Mr. President.
By going through France, Spain won't suspect that it's you who's going to take possession of Louisiana. They'll even believe that France will be a protective buffer between itself in California and you on the East Coast. If Senor Godoy was afraid that you might take the territory by force, now he is reassured. You would never attack France.
But why didn't you tell me before?
So that Lord Mortimer would appear to be isolated without support.
Exactly. You got it, Louis.
Lord Mortimer retains the advantage by
Keep waiting
advancing
for
undercover,
moments to use
and
whatever one
for
is
it to
given
work,
supply.
he needed you to act surprised.
I got a new one added.
You haven't changed. Always one step ahead.
One step ahead? You're joking. More like 5.
On that note, my friends, it's getting late. Mr. President?
Yep, I got a new
to
one.
Take offense over my project when we resume the conference in the morning. You do it to a T. And if Sir Gregory has the audacity to send you an emissary to convince you to go against me...
I think it's loaded. Yeah, it should be loaded.
String him along if you can. The more they believe we are divided, the more we'll have our hands free.
Only too happy to oblige.
Now, let us get some rest. We've got a big day tomorrow. Good night, gentlemen.
Good night.
I feel like I never knew one or two of the ones you added in the list batch. In the
Really?
last batch. I think you did. You got them all.
I would like to ask a favor of you. I'm going to require your services.
How can I be of help? Tell me all about it.
Our adversaries are many, and the closing vote of the conference will soon be upon us. Time is of an essence, so I'll need you to assist me this evening.
How can I help?
I need you to go this very evening to persuade Senor Godoy to join us. He is the backbone of Gregory's resistance. Turn him round, and all the others will follow in such a stampede that Gregory will be able to do nothing but admit defeat.
Lord Mortimer, with all due respect, don't you think I'm the last person Godoy wants to talk to?
I'm sure you can do it. I believe in you.
Lord Mortimer, you're not telling me everything.
Let's say I wouldn't disapprove if the Right Honorable, though nonetheless choleric, Duke Manuel put you in his bad books. If it could motivate him to declare war on France, it would greatly serve our interests.
War? What do you mean?
I told you before the conference. The more we distract Spain from the Americas, the less it will have an eye on Louisiana.
But all the same, we're talking about a war in Europe.
Don't worry. That's why Mr. Bonaparte is with us. I am convinced we'll be perfectly capable of managing the conflict. And Senor Godoy is not a great soldier. He will not commit Spain to a long war that he won't be capable of managing.
I'll go straight away.
Thank you, my boy. And get some rest afterwards. Big day tomorrow.
Okay. And then I'm gonna go here. Yeah, so I don't think the sound files will play now. They won't. There's 7 sound files now, officially.
Aren't you afraid our projects for Italy may be discovered before we... Oh, please excuse us, Louis, but I need to speak with Lord
Italy.
Mortimer in private.
No. What do you want, Louis?
I'm going to have a word with Duke Manuel, but you know him better than I do, I believe.
Yes. Avoid any marks of respect and protocol pertaining to his rank. He's not fond of courtly manners.
Thank you for the advice, my lord. I shall be leaving you.
Yeah, I can think of 6. Yep, so you're missing the new one I just added, which we talked about a little bit, but I didn't implement it. So if you think about it, you'll probably get it. Nope, not lurk. Because I don't know what lurk would be yet.
Monsieur Johann van Vulner.
That might be my new favorite one. Did I already look for here and grab everything?
Golden elixir.
Golden elixir. So yeah, I've already been for here. Yeah, I was looking through YouTube videos and I found one that had
The Great Work of the Soul by S. Madone. Pure alchemy is a thought.
I finally found one that was the John Cena Sucks Chance without the casters talking through it, and I was like, God.
The latter by a series of processes known as the Great Work. There are 4 phases to attain the ultimate in spiritual fulfillment. The soul must be transformed in order to attain sublimation by the recombination of the alchemist. It's tempting. The human soul must descend, be corrupt, in order to become decomposed. It's something like what I felt when I think of what I found out about my mother. The soul broken up must be purified by the alchemist. Nice program. Thus ends the great work. The incarnation of the purified spirit, the elevation of the soul, now become perfect. Its resurrection, thanks to the action of the alchemist. Except if the alchemist has bad intentions, then it's called manipulation. Very metaphorical as occult theories go. The human spirit being the prima materia of the alchemist.
Huh. I think there's one other wrestling sound clip I can think of that I want to add. Amber
crystals.
Amber crystals. That'd be great because it's an old one, so nobody will actually think about it. There was nothing else in here, right? Look around again, double check. You guys have anything else I want to steal? Okay, and we're out. And I guess we're going this way. Whoop, dead room. Okay, we'll look around again. Letters, letters, letters. Right, and we're out.
President George Washington. Locked.
Let me see if there's a small key first that I can find. And if not, then I'll just pick the lock.
My dear George,
Alright, then we go back, use the small key.
Locked.
And it's a body. Oh.
The president's personal reserve of laudanum, and judging by the quantity, you can't go without it. Ah, there's also a letter.
Dear Mr. President, I'm returning my answer as quick as I can. We already spoke. But before you let I note that things have been approved. I urge you to follow my advice and stop taking laudanum immediately. I'm already looking for a substitute, but I'm afraid you won't wait. Your excessive consumption is in danger of fully impairing your chances of securing your next mandate. Your addiction is jeopardizing your conservative efforts and dues, my friends. Dr. W. Compton. Amber fragments. Huh, okay. I guess we go this way. Nope.
Monseigneur, His Eminence Cardinal Piaggi.
Nope. And this is me. Which I haven't been to mine in a while, so might be good for me to just run around and double check everything.
Inferno by Dante.
Yep.
Abandon hope, all ye who enter here.
Lovely lectures Mortimer is giving to his guests. Very jolly.
Dear Monsieur de Richet,
Over here. I need to turn off notifications for Steam. Okay.
Inferno by Dante.
Oh, yeah.
Abandon hope, all ye who enter here.
Around, double check, lemon tree.
Mary Louise of Parma. How ironic having a painting of the Queen of Spain in one's room, my Lord Duke. Hey, it looks like someone slipped something in the back here. It's a letter. Let's see what it says. It reeks of perfume, and it's written in Spanish.
Linguistics.
Godoy, you really are a little devil.
Jesus.
So, let's see what it says.
My tender Pepita, I feel so guilty at being so far away from you again, even if it's for the good of my country. I feel awful at having to leave you after a silly spat because you're the only woman I love. Josephine, forever. To you before everything I have, everything after you. I owe to the affection of the Queen. Let's stay united. Please even sacrifice for the two of us, for our future children. Stop being jealous. You're the one who feels my thoughts. Everything else is just a game, I swear.
It seems the Queen isn't the only one enjoying the Lord Duke's favors. If the Queen found out, it would cost him dearly. I'll keep it with me. You never know.
Well.
Manuel Godoy. A painting of himself in his room. Now that's not going to help him develop a sense of modesty.
Don Quixote. Talking without thinking. is like shooting without taking aim. I'm gonna have to think about that one.
Yeah.
Charles IV of Spain. Now there's no chance of Godoy forgetting who he owes everything to.
Amber.
Amber. Amber.
Don Quixote.
Oh yeah.
Talking without thinking is like shooting without taking aim.
Okay.
I have to think about that one.
So we have the letter.
Volner's probably still behind the door. I best go out through the balcony just in case.
Little did I know I would be doing the right actions the entire time.
Duke Manuel Godoy.
Ah, Monsieur de Richet. You wouldn't have seen Duke Manuel by any chance, would you?
I was going to ask you the same question.
I wanted to speak to him, but no one will open the door. I'm not sure he's in there.
If I want to pass through, I'll have to get Volner out of the way.
Perhaps he didn't hear you. Did you try entering?
No, of course not. It would not be proper, after all.
So this is, what's his name? Volner? He's vulnerable to diversions.
Excuse me, but I must fetch a letter for the Duke.
Very well, sir. You may pass.
And I've already been in here, so we're leaving.
Don Quixote. Talking without thinking is like shooting without taking aim. I'm gonna have to think about that one.
Can I leave now?
Don Quixote. Talking without thinking is like shooting without taking aim. I'm gonna have to think about that one.
I'm gonna go up and talk to him again, and he'll be really confused.
Ah, Monsieur de Richet. You wouldn't have seen Duke Manuel by any chance, would you?
I was going to ask you the same question.
I wanted to speak to him,
Might have found a logic loop.
No one will open the door. I'm not sure he's in there.
If I want to pass through, I'll have to get Volner out of the way.
If I hear that one more time while I'm doing dishes, I'm gonna break something. Are you about to break?
Getting into the damned room.
Because everything you said to me takes you one step closer to the edge, and I'm about to break?
Duchess Emily Hillsborough.
Do you need a little room to breathe? Because you're one step closer to the edge, and you're about to break? Jesus Christ.
Monsieur Napoleon Bonaparte.
See if Napoleon has anything more interesting for me to steal. Ooh, what's this? Oh, it's a letter. It's a
My
letter.
dearest son.
My dearest son. Did I already check his stuff? Obviously, they don't want me going for there. And let's see. What the hell is this?
Hey, Peru's name tag's fallen off.
Uh-oh.
And his door's ajar.
See, McG, do you know when a door isn't a door? When it's a jar.
Dear Monsieur,
I have no space left. I'll retrieve it later.
I'm surprised you didn't see that one coming. What's going on here? Someone internet's When I was walking Troy earlier today, a clown actually held the door open for me as we were getting back into my apartment complex. It was a nice gesture. What room is this?
Vercingetorix throws down his arms at the feet of Julius Caesar.
That's
by Roy.
Napoleon's room again? But am I missing something out of this room? Did I... Alright, I don't see anything, so I'm gone.
Bicorn decorated with a cockade. It must belong to a French soldier.
Oh, this is Napoleon's room too. Okay. And then... Alright.
Leave me, de Richet. I don't feel like talking.
Your door was ajar, and given the state of your room, I was worried.
It's none of your business.
Very well. I'll leave you then. See you tomorrow, monsieur.
No!
I asked you to leave me alone.
No! He knows something. Talk to him. Probably because I didn't listen to Don Quixote enough. I need to go back and find a Don Quixote book and see if it has any advice for me. Running, running, and running, running. Running, leave me alone! Leave me alone! Might be a clip coming up later. Who's this?
Sir Johann von Volna.
Did I already go in this room? Oh yeah, I've already been here. No, don't tell me about the alchemy. No!
The Soul by S. Madone. Pure alchemy is a thought, an art that is performed on the matter of the soul. Great alchemists work to transform and perfect the latter by a series of processes known as the Great Work.
Okay.
There are 4 phases to attain the ultimate in spiritual fulfillment.
I've had enough.
Very metaphorical as occult theories go, the human spirit being the prima materia of the alchemist.
Okay. So now I need to go downstairs. Which is this way? Okay, let's see if anyone's in the Garden of Death.
Golden elixir.
Golden elixir. Doesn't look like anybody's here. Wait, where? What? Confused. Okay, so it's back to the little room, right? Yep. It's upstairs, which I don't want to go. This is to the conference room, which we're not going to go into. I picked everything else I could. Nobody's in the gallery. Nobody's in the Medusa room. Sir, I don't think I need to go into the secret room. When Liberty gets a new sub, get out, leave me alone.
Atrus, the Miller brothers. Mother expressly forbade me from reading it.
Okay, and now we're in the dining room. Is anybody eating? Nope.
Carmelite water will give me a little reprieve.
Alright, so we're in the room of Zeus. What the hell?
What can I do for you, sir?
Sir?
I am at your
Service day and night, sir. Do you know where Godoy is?
Duke Manuel.
The Duke is in the dining room, sir.
No, he wasn't.
What can I do for you, sir? I am at your service day and night, sir.
As I was unable to bring my personal effects with me, I was wondering if you could find me a few items.
Of course, sir.
Sir.
What would you
require, sir? Never mind.
I would like to come in.
I am sorry, sir, but that is not possible for the moment.
Why do you ask?
Sir Gregory's orders, sir.
Can you tell me where I can find Duke Manuel, please?
Alas, I do not know, sir. I can only assure you he is not in the small salon.
Very well. Thank you.
Good evening, sir.
Okay. And this guy told me the dining room, which is where I just was in. So now I'm going to go back to the dining room and he'll magically appear. Oh my god, he's playing the goddamn piano. Nope, hold on.
John Spartan, you are fined 1 credit for a violation of the verbal morality statute.
Thanks, Omni.
Duke Manuel?
Well, well. Monsieur de Richet, I was not expecting you. I am not in the mood, sir, I warn you. What do you want from me, sir?
Boy, hold on. Manuel. He's immune to politics. I'm gonna use...
I see you're still feeling under pressure. Since your arrival, I've noticed that you've been on the defensive. It seems to me that Monsieur Peru has a knack for getting your back up.
That is the least you can say. Indeed, I was warned. I knew what to expect. For God's sake, why in the hell did your people execute their king? Have the French gone stark raving mad? There are nothing but monarchies in power in Europe. They will all come crashing down on you.
We shall see. It might well turn out to be the opposite.
You certainly do not lack for audacity, young man. Just tell me one thing, monsieur. Why did you side with Mortimer? He is alone, isolated. The United States can do nothing to help you, and France is surrounded by over 10 countries just waiting for the word to pounce. Really, I do not see why you choose Mortimer.
The Golden Order, my friend. The Order is everywhere. We come from France. We are President of the United States, England, and many other countries. We have ambitions and the means to carry them out. You'll see, once all hell breaks out and your English support starts to fade away. The Order is an international organization. It matters little what governments do. Otherwise, why would Mortimer have gone to the trouble of inviting my mother?
If you are right, Sir Gregory has got it all wrong. Tell me, do you really believe Spain has any interest in ceding Louisiana to France?
Duke Manuel, for Spain, I don't know. But for you, I'm convinced that Lord Mortimer will thank you generously.
You would not be trying to bribe me, would you?
Nothing could be further from my mind. It would be an insult to believe that someone such as yourself might have a practical attitude towards its virtue. Even so, it is only natural that you be supported and encouraged if you were to follow Lord Mortimer, isn't it?
Indeed, for services rendered, it would be natural for me to receive compensation for the time spent achieving such an undertaking, yes?
Naturally. And, given your status, my Lord Duke, the compensation would have to be considerable.
Naturally. Tell me one last thing. What would I gain from all this?
Do I just blackmail him right here?
Duke Manuel, you have everything to gain.
I cannot see what, actually.
Well, if the Queen found out where your heart really lies, she might well become very unhappy.
What do you mean?
It's not inconceivable that a letter written by your own hand might have come into my possession, in which you declare such love to Pepita that even I became moved.
You've been in my room.
And I'm afraid that if by some misfortune this letter ended up in the hands of the Queen, she also would be moved.
You thieving!
Come now, my Lord Duke. We're all gentlemen here. I'm convinced it's not going to happen. Or will it?
That is blackmail, you bastard! You have no idea of the consequences!
Lord Mortimer knows how to look after his friends. Don't you worry about Sir Gregory. You're protected. Have no fear.
Come on, you fool. Give it up. You're trapped like a rat.
Monsieur, I am...
You gain 1 point in politics.
Astounded. I did not think you capable, but you have succeeded. I will be more wary of you the next time. Nonetheless, if you can guarantee Lord Mortimer's support, then yes, you can count on my vote when the time comes. However, I expect you to be discreet with regard to my former partners, without which our agreement will become null and void.
Of course, my Lord Duke. You can count on me. Lord Mortimer will be delighted to hear the news.
I hope you know what you are getting into, Louis. I bid you good luck.
Good night, my Lord Duke. See you tomorrow.
Well, that's one thing out of the way. Only thing left to do is wait for the conference to resume tomorrow morning.
Go to bed. Don't I have like an entire murder to like uncover? Don't I have 2 murders now to solve? Would have been faster to go the other way. It's interesting how this game limits where you can go, and then everywhere you've been before lets you go back. But then you're left with this question of, should I go back in order to find other things, or do I leave things alone? Leave me alone. Should I tell him he's in? Hold on. Let me see if I can tell him if it's he's in the dining room.
Ah, Monsieur de Richet. You wouldn't have seen Duke Manuel by any chance, would you?
I just ran into him. He was heading for the dining room.
Ah, thank you.
Yay! Now I can get some sleep, because nobody will be banging on anyone's doors. Good guy, Liberty. Hello.
Good evening, Monsieur le Français.
Duchess, you're here. What a charming surprise. I'm beginning to think you can't be without me.
You have managed to penetrate my armor, sir. Am I disturbing you, perhaps?
That's not what I said.
Ah, by the way, you surprised me during the conference.
Why's that?
Well, you are going to lose. Why stay with Lord Mortimer?
I believe he has every chance of winning.
My, you are a rash one. However, if ever you want to change sides, please feel free to let me know.
But tell me, you didn't come here to try and make me change my mind, did you?
That's the last thing on my mind, although you would have everything to gain by it.
Is she immune to politics? No, it's Emily, Emma. No, I haven't met Emma. It's Emily. Following into logic.
Do you perhaps know something that I don't? Come on, Emily. It's time you lay your cards on the table. If you know something I don't about Lord Mortimer, now's the time.
I don't want to speak ill of him, but in certain circles, you can't exactly say he has a good reputation.
Continue.
Well, there have been instances where he has used people, then gotten rid of them once he no longer seemed to need them, Louis. He makes fine promises, makes you feel valuable, tests you. But beware. I'm worried that something might happen to you.
Are you advising me to change sides as a precaution?
I'd rather say as a safety measure. Louis, if you trust me, you ought to ask yourself why I have chosen home. You do trust me, don't you?
Of course, Emily. You know you have my full trust.
Louis, you're lying. That's
Aw.
not good. Any more of that and I might get upset. Admit, though, that it does make you think. There's still time, you know. Join us before it's too late.
Unfortunately, my word is my bond. I don't want to leave Lord Mortimer in the lurch.
Very well, as you wish.
Iron Will, and then what's the other one I got? Seduction. Maybe
to
not.
you to decide.
Tell me, are these visits to Mortimer's always so intense?
Yes and no. My sister doesn't normally disappear like she has. Any news of your mother?
Well, I should imagine you're still shaken. I promise to shed light on my mother's circumstances as soon as possible.
There's not much to shed light on. What your mother did is inexcusable. She won the trust of my sister in order to more easily betray her. She didn't do anything to her. Can we change subject, please? I didn't come here to go through all that again.
Of course, it's late. You're right.
Yeah, that kissing animation.
Come, Louis.
My friends, do not worry. I assure you that Lord Mortimer's plan will never see the light of day. I shall deal with informing our allies, but for the time being, I need you to make a stand.
What do you think about Monsieur de Richet?
I don't know yet. I feel there's great potential in him. He looks like he can be trusted. And Duchess Hillsborough. Why isn't she here? She's busy. Don't worry about her.
Oh, isn't it time to replace her?
Not so fast, sir. She is an important figure. You ought to have a little more faith in her. What are we going to do about Washington? He will be a hard nut to crack. On our chessboard, he is Mortimer's king. Don't worry. Mr. President only wants one thing. To keep his dear America united. He won't jeopardize everything he has achieved on a whim. He has been serving Mortimer for quite some time. It won't be easy to bring him around. Do you feel all right, Mr. Godoy? You haven't said a word.
Please excuse me, gentlemen. I feel tired.
Oh, I see. I think it is high time you left us then. Now!
Does Sir Holm know that I can see people's visions?
Emily?
Of course she left
Emily?
you.
Are you there?
Nope.
Sir, the conference is about to begin.
Already?
You are expected in the conference room.
Tell them I'm coming. Thank you.
Come on, Louis. The game is back on.
My friends, the conference is about to begin. Please excuse me if I troubled you last night with my project. I understand that you might well have a few questions to ask. As you know, the final vote will be cast in a few days. This morning's aim is to answer your questions and check the temperature of your respective positions so that we may reach a greater understanding.
As always, Lord Mortimer.
We parted in perfect disagreement, my lord. Where would you like us to take it from?
Come, sir. Please let William believe he still has a chance of winning us over. Otherwise, his imprecations will lack panache, and we shall be bored stiff.
Oh, let me assure you, I am convinced that a good night's sleep has brought sound advice, and that this morning will be even more interesting. Therefore, I would like to go around the table in order to hear everyone's first impressions.
Well, I am still firmly against it, even though my choice won't count.
Against.
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 And you, Duke Manuel?
Well, you see, it is more complicated and it...
Goodbye. Calm, Gregory. Don't try to impress my guests, please.
They are not your guests.
Gregory, anyone under my roof is by definition my guest.
Fact.
You included. I would be very grateful if you would let my guests speak. Duke Manuel, you were saying you still had some doubts?
Well, you see, the situation has changed since last night.
What's going on here, my Lord Duke?
You see, I gave it some thought during the night. New arguments have come to light.
What do you mean, Duke Manuel?
Sir Gregory, I regret to inform you that Spain will not support you in this operation. I vote for. Moreover, in response to arguments brought to my attention, I declare war on France.
What? What is he doing?
If you think France is afraid of you, you are dreaming.
Over 10 nations rise against you, young man, and you behave like a yapping little dog?
When the French armies are at your door, my Lord Duke, you will change your tune. Well, as for me, I am for Lord Mortimer's project, despite Duchess Hillsborough's overwhelmingly convincing nocturnal attentions.
What? So Emily was playing at trying to win over guests last night?
It was nothing more than a friendly little chat, of course.
How could it be otherwise? And by the way, remember me to your husband when you see him. And you, President Washington, what is your position?
For, of course.
Well, that leaves just yourself and Monsieur Peru, Louis.
You're all making me sick. Look at yourselves.
What?
You are pathetic!
Have you been drinking or what?
There you are, quibbling away. My Lord Duke this, and Madame Duchess that. You know very well that we're nothing but puppets on a damn string.
Jacques, Camille.
Let's end the charade. It's over.
Jacques.
My lord, thank you for everything you've done for me over the years. But it didn't come for free. And now I see the price is too high to pay. I'll stop.
Come, Jacques, we'll talk it over.
No, I'm finished. I want my freedom back,
No,
my lord.
intervene.
I shall no longer work for you.
Wait!
De Richet, you just can't help it, can you? Stop trying to play the hero, man!
Oh boy. He's vulnerable to etiquette and he's vulnerable to psychology. So, psychology.
Monsieur, I know I don't really know you, but you seem like a decent person.
I have done so many horrible things.
You blame yourself, I can see that. Everything's not lost.
I don't want to do bad things anymore.
You can take control of yourself again. You can fix whatever it is you've done.
Do you really believe that?
Of course, Jacques. You'll have all the time you need.
Etiquette, psychology, it's logic, conviction. Oh, jeez.
Look, you've done as much as you can. You have nothing to fear. Your daughter is safe.
Shut up!
Uh-oh. Whoops. Wait, was that episode 3? No, okay. Yeah, okay. I'm good.
I don't understand. I spoke to him only recently.
Monsieur Peru has lost his mind. It's obvious.
Yet another way for the French to make a spectacle of themselves. Well, once again, it has worked.
My friends, let us settle down, please. We are all in shock, of course. Let us praise Louis's gesture anyway. You did what you could.
Yes, it was very noble of you, Louis.
It wasn't your fault.
There was nothing else you could have done.
I think everyone needs a little rest. Can you stay a moment?
Of course.
Alright, let's see here. Science, no. Erudition, no. Subterfuge, no. Logic and conviction. Conviction, yes. Logic, yes. Then agility, occult, manipulation. Agility.
Louis, I wanted to talk to you a moment about what has happened. All this is tragic, but I wanted to thank you for doing what you could.
I wasn't able to save him.
You couldn't, Louis. You mustn't blame yourself. It is not your fault.
Where is he? Royal Mortimer. Immune conviction, immune to science.
I know this has nothing to do with me, my lord, but don't you think you're partly to blame? It won't escape your attention that he incriminated you before he took his own life.
I heard what he said, yes. Monsieur Peru appeared to blame me for his condition. I certainly encouraged him to succeed, but I wasn't aware he couldn't handle the pressures of the situation. Of course, his duties in Paris were very difficult. The choices he had to make were burdensome. But that was the path he had chosen. Should I not have helped him to succeed, perhaps? You heard him yourself. His duties as judge got the better of him.
Did you push him into it?
I wouldn't say push, but I did encourage him, yes. I thought it was my duty to help him as much as I could to become the court judge he dreamed of being. I thought he was capable of it. It appears I was mistaken, unfortunately. What a pity he didn't come and speak to me.
He did.
What do you mean?
He went to talk to you in your study the day before yesterday. Unfortunately, you weren't there.
Well, I was not informed of this. What a waste.
What are your plans now?
What do you mean?
For the conference. After the disappearances of both Elizabeth Adams and my mother, and now the death of Mr. Peru, I should imagine that your guests are all packing their bags.
This might come as a bit of a shock to you, perhaps because it was so difficult to bring all these figures together. But I am convinced that none of them is preparing to leave.
Are you serious?
They are all very experienced politicians. And though they are, of course, affected by the situation, they know full well that such an opportunity will not come again for a long, long time, if ever. They each represent their nation, and know full well that what is at stake here is far greater than the death of poor Monsieur Peru. You'll see. I am confident that they will all be ready to resume the conference.
If you say so. Allow me to take my leave, please.
Of course. You ought to get some rest.
Yeah, I will.
Oh, Louis, One more thing, please. I wanted to thank you for your support during the conference. You've made the right choice, and it gives me tremendous satisfaction to have you with me on this project.
And much good may it do you, my lord. But look at the voters. It needs to be unanimous. And we just lost Peru. The battle is already lost, if you ask me.
Trust me, Louis. We still have a few more cards to play. You'll see. Anything can happen in politics.
I'll see you later, my lord.
Is there anything over here for me? You gonna yell at me?
I'll see you later, Louis.
Yep, okay. Heading the right way. Might do a loop just to see if there's anyone to talk to. Oh, hey, what do you know?
Your Eminence.
Ah, Louis. You were admirable. You didn't manage to save Peru, but whatever you do, don't blame yourself. You did your best.
Thank you, Your Eminence.
It's not going to help matters for Mortimer. Now he has one less vote for the conference.
What do you expect? Mortimer has chosen his supporters.
Maybe he should have chosen more carefully. I hope that Monsieur Peru's act will help you reconsider your choice, Louis. Sincerely, see where his support for Lord Mortimer got him.
Godoy betrayed you. He has turned his back on you and will follow Mortimer.
What? Are you joking?
You can always join us, Your Eminence. Don't be the butt of the joke. When all your so-called allies have changed sides without warning, you'll be a laughingstock.
I don't know what you're talking about, Louis. Please excuse me, but I am tired. We shall resume our discussion later, perhaps.
As you please, Your Eminence.
President George Washington. Monseigneur, His Eminence Cardinal Piaggi. Huh, that's me.
Huh, that's me.
Next time, I'll listen to my mother. Not a day has gone by without something happening to me. What now?
Yeah.
Louis, open up, please.
Coming, Mr. President, I'm coming.
Louis. Ah, there you are at last.
Yes,
I just saw your mother. She was accompanied by Emily, and they both went into the Duchess's room. I tried to join them, but I was refused entry. Louis, this does not bode well.
Oh, shit. Emily might want to avenge her sister. I must act quickly.
You're right, Mr. President. Thank you.
Okay, let's see. So I can go into this person's room and sneak on the balcony.
I
to get inside Emily's room through the... Shit! It's locked. Damn it. It's closed. Seems like the key is still in the lock on the other side. That means I won't be able to pick it. Or I could do as I did the last time in the tower room. Slowly, Louis. Nice and slow. To get inside Emily's room through the... Shit! It's locked.
Don't I? Alright, never mind. I thought I had the key.
I must act fast.
It's as if there are several people inside.
Once again, you're the one who's the victim in all this. What are you on about now? I should never have told you what happened to me. That's
A letter
how it
from
works,
William
and you know it
the
full
Younger,
well. I'm not
addressed
that
to Emily.
naive. I know
The present
you inside
Prime
out.
Minister of the
Stop.
United Kingdom.
We'll end up
Emily has
losing
indeed some powerful backers.
Madam.
What on earth is... You... Mother?
How dare you do this to me? You can talk. After everything I've done for you. You are joking, I hope, right? I gave you my life. That's enough, Emma. Now that Louis is here, you will leave Sarah alone. Cease your revenge immediately. What? If you think you're going to... Louis, help me, I beg you. I can no longer reason with her. I am Emily. Quit playing games. What? Honestly, don't be ridiculous. No. I am Emily. You are wasting your time. Louis knows very well how to tell us apart. After everything we've been through together.
Yes, well...
Don't you dare bring him into this. This is between you and me. I ask for nothing more, so stop taking it out on Sarah. You prissy little bitch! How dare you! Now that I've told you everything, you want to take my place, do you? You are joking, I hope. I'm the one who told you everything that's been going on while you were away. Go on then. That's what you want, isn't it? You want to kill me. Go on then, shoot! After all the trouble I've gone through to find you. Go on. What are you waiting for? Here, Louis, take this.
Wait, what's going...
An entire life for this. Go on, shoot! Sorry, Louis, I can't shoot her. She's my sister. That's enough, Emma. Louis, out of the way. She's dangerous. Don't trust her. What are you trying to do? Louis, out of the way. I am not Emma. Come on, Louis, tell her who the real Emily is.
Wait,
That's right, Louis. I'm fed up with this little game. Tell him who the real Emily is.
Why do these things always happen to me?
Well, Louis, come on, you know how to tell us apart, right?
Yes, but I'd like to ask you a few questions to make sure there's no doubt.
Rational and open, Louis. Let's see. How can I tell them apart?
I have no clue.
I've got an idea.
Do I?
On the night of our arrival... On the wharf, something happened to me. What happened exactly?
You felt unwell. You had a nosebleed, and I offered you my handkerchief. I told her all that already. It was me who told you.
Right. Let's find something else. Ah, yes. Let's speak about my arrival at the manor.
Saturday.
On the night of our arrival, we were warming ourselves in front of the fire. Mortimer welcomed us in a very odd way. What happened?
It won't work, Louis. It wasn't Mortimer who welcomed us. It was Sir Gregory. Sorry, Louis. I already told her.
Very well.
Let's try something else.
On the first night, we went up to bed, but I wasn't tired. I went for a little stroll. Do you remember if we saw each other that night or not?
Of course, Louis. You broke into my room. That doesn't prove a thing. I was the one who told you that. Don't think you're going to get away with this deception so easily. I can assure you, you're going to regret pretending to be me once Louis has exposed you.
Right. I don't think I'll get very far like this. I'll have to find something better.
Oh, I don't think I'll even wait until he's finished.
Take it easy now.
Are you mad, Louis?
Lower your arm.
I better act quickly if I don't want things to get out of hand.
Come on, she's putting one over on you. Look at yourself for crying out loud. You were prepared to shoot me down.
In the secret room behind the study. Talk to them about what you've been doing. Maybe they haven't spoken about it between each other yet.
On the night of the disappearance of Elizabeth Adams.
What about it? What do you want to know about that night?
We found ourselves in Mortimer's secret gallery. What relics did we find?
Property deeds in Mortimer's name dating from very long ago.
Is that all?
You mean all those mythological charms? So there was the so-called Pandora's box that wasn't a box actually. The famous golden fleece that reeked of dead goat. A broken sword that could have belonged to anyone. Is that enough?
Yes, that's enough.
You look captivated. Of course, he bought it. That's enough! I've had enough of this charade. Louis, there's only one way to tell us apart. There's just one thing I didn't tell her about in detail. Too bad for you, Emma. I didn't want it to come to this, but you leave me no choice. Ask her about you and I. You just lost, Emma. I indeed didn't tell you everything about it. Come, Louis. Speak about our intimacy.
Very well. Let's talk about us. Last night, you came to visit me, and I can't help wondering why. Why did you come to my room?
Louis, you must be mistaken. I did not go to your room last night, and that's where your little game ends, Emma. Because I never told you about it. So, there you can't answer. What? No! You didn't do that. I didn't want you to be jealous of Louis. Remember how you always used to react whenever you felt you were competing against a man? You dirty...
That's enough. I've had enough of this charade. That's enough, both of you. Now I know who the real Emily is.
Unless Emma tricked me?
You are Emily Hillsborough.
I knew you wouldn't get it wrong, Louis. No! You little bitch! Watch out, Louis! No!
Hell, what have I done?
Did I get the right one? You think you identified the true Emily Hillsborough. Alright.
See what you've done. See.
Louis? What on earth is going...
Mother!
Go. You must leave. Everyone's going to arrive.
Louis, what's going on?
Duchess? Is everything all right?
Go! Go, Mother! No one must find you here.
Go.
Come, Louis. There's nothing more you can do.
But Leave us.
Emily, what's going on?
Mother, go to the crypt. I'll meet you there.
I'll be waiting for you.
Emily.
Madam, I'm coming in.
It was bound to end like this, Louis. Let me stay with her, please. Go, I'll cover you.
Well, now there's another murder.
Good God! They're all here. They must have heard the gunshot.
Where is Lord Mortimer?
Can anyone hear anything through the door?
Did you hear that? I was not dreaming, was I?
Certainly not, Duke Godoy.
What's going on?
Someone had the bang coming from the Duchess's room, and she isn't answering. Gentlemen, go back to your rooms. Go back to your rooms. I shall find out from Lord Mortimer what this is all about. Thank you.
Yep, okay. What is it? It's wanting me to... There we go. Oh.
Chronolite water will give me a little reprieve.
Has literally no one else known about this crypt in like forever?
Louis! At last, there you are.
Mother, wait,
Come, we have to be quick.
No, wait, Mother,
Time is running out, Louis. First, we must...
No! That's enough. I won't go a step further unless you explain to me what is going on here. I'm begging you. Talk to me.
You must trust me, my son. You are not ready yet.
You're the one who should trust me. Tell me what's happening.
You would never believe me.
I came all the way here for you. Now I found you. I'm ready, Mother.
If only. Louis, I have always taught you to keep your mind open and rational. I know you are going to find this hard to believe, but what I am going to reveal to you is entirely true.
Okay.
Many years ago, I found out that demons really do live among us.
I beg your pardon?
And that they can influence our thoughts.
Mother, listen to yourself. I know you're exhausted, but for crying out loud, listen to what you're saying. Demons? What next? An ancient monster with a head like an octopus? What do your demons look like? Have they got horns and a pointed tail?
No, these are not creatures with billy goat's legs. Forget your Christian folklore. Imagine them more as parasitic spirits. They possess their hosts and direct them from inside.
Parasitic spirits?
Yes, they are capable of going from one body to another as they see fit. And 2 of them are present on this island.
Right. So let me guess. Lord Mortimer and Sir Gregory, right?
You felt it too?
No, even if Home does look the part. But I don't know who else could do it, given that we're on their territory.
Many years ago, well before you were born, I crossed paths with one of them. Since then, I've spent my life trying to find it again. When we recovered the Alizif, I was persuaded that von Burchard was working for this demon in one way or another. But I thought he would hand the book to a middleman during this conference. That's where I made an error that could well turn out to be fatal. The one who Burchard was meant to give the book to was none other than the demon in person, Mortimer. Not to mention that Home had sent Volner to get it for him.
Home and Mortimer are demons?
They both seem to disagree about many things, but I'll admit I never knew exactly why. There are many of them, Louis, not just those 2.
Mother, have you any proof to support any of this?
Of course, but you do too. You had everything laid out in front of you. Didn't you notice anything?
Well, those property deeds across the world, all signed by the same hand and over several centuries.
I am proud of you, Louis.
I found your notes written in lemon juice.
Where all eyes size you up. At one stage, I was so afraid of losing my mind that I noted everything down. Congratulations, Louis. Wait, please tell me you didn't open Pandora's box.
The urn? Yes, I did. Why?
Too bad. We'll deal with it later.
I went beyond the Nightmare Mother.
You understood the Masonic date.
1191.
Of course! It was during that siege that the demon took possession of Sir Mortimer. They spent a whole night in conversation until the early hours of the morning. Mortimer had passed the test. He had charmed the demon, and so it chose him to be its host for centuries to come. But tell me, did you find his secret study?
I did indeed.
Did you see his maps of the world?
He has contacts the world over.
Yes, I've been developing the Golden Order across the world for many years, and I've never seen anyone with such influence. It's simply inhuman.
I must admit, I found it difficult to understand how and why Mortimer didn't have a place in history.
On the continent, Mortimer and Home are mere dandies who organize society balls. History forgets them with a disconcerting facility. No one speaks about them, and yet they whisper in the ears of kings and presidents.
You mean the conference?
How can you explain that someone manages to bring together so many important figures without anyone knowing?
And without any security or personnel.
Louis, I am proud of you. You came all this way. You found me. You have surpassed me.
You taught me everything I know. Right. How did it all begin?
I saw him!
What do you mean you saw him?
I was 20 years old. I was young and carefree. I traveled the world in search of adventure. In the Persian Gulf, we came across an ancient grimoire that became unlocked. Composed of 7 parts, each one was a book in itself, set in a sort of metal armor that structured the whole thing. When all the volumes were brought together, they formed a single book. On my return to Paris, I set to studying these pages. I spent all my days and nights studying them.
Oh, I can imagine you doing that.
But the writing was in a language I had never seen before, developed well before Sumerian, in my opinion. So I got the idea to form a small occult circle composed of all the major names in the occult world to see if anyone else could crack it.
And you found no one.
And I found someone, Louis. I found him. Or rather, he found me. He was young, charismatic, he was flamboyant.
Wait a minute, who are you talking about? Von Borchardt?
No, Mortimer, of course. He was a veritable mine of knowledge. I showed him the book, and he was able to decipher a few passages. We spent several months together studying the pages. He helped me understand certain passages until I realized that he only translated a few parts for me. But I had aroused his interest. It was too late.
How so?
I mean to say he manipulated me. He used me, and in the end, he stole the book with all its secrets.
Did he ever go to your place?
Not once. At least I don't think so. But before disappearing, he proposed a pact between us. He proposed that I follow him and let him teach me, allow him to bring me up.
And you accepted?
Please don't be stupid. You don't make deals with the devil. After that, I spent my whole life looking for him. 3 years later, in Berlin, I just missed him. In London, I lost 6 members of the Order in a chase. In 1741, in Tunisia, I found a sect of fanatics who had crossed paths with him once. 1741, in Poland. 1749, in India.
8 years ago in Venice.
We agreed never to speak about what happened in Venice, Louis.
You agreed, and that was before you spoke to me about demons. Wait, the baby we delivered, you and me, that night in Venice? Did he have anything to do with Lord Mortimer?
The child was his son.
We stole his son? Are you insane? I always thought we took him to save him.
That was the case. It was precisely to save him from his father.
Need I remind you the mother died during childbirth? What became of the child?
Later. For the moment, that is not the key issue here. Once we found the Al-Azif in Paris, I followed von Borchardt's trail here. I didn't think it would lead me straight to the demon. It was careless of me. He toyed with me for a few days, until I caught on, until I saw him as he was. But he had no intention of letting me leave. We are all his pawns, Louis, and if we don't want to spend the rest of our lives turning round in circles here, we must absolutely get off this island. All right, can we move on?
Wait a minute, one last thing. I want to know what happened between you and Emily's sister.
Great responsibility often brings difficult choices, Louis. That's all you need to know.
Mother, I won't take a step further if you don't answer me.
You dare blackmail me?
I'm listening.
All right, I used her. So there you are. Happy now? We had the Al-Azif, and I didn't think we would be able to escape with it. In order to ensure that the book did not fall into their hands, or that one of them couldn't read in us where we had hidden it, I asked Emily to...
It's Emma.
Yes, or rather for me, it was Emily. So I asked Emma to hide it without anyone seeing. And then I disposed of her. I am sorry for her, but she was part of the Golden Order, Louis. She knew the rules when she joined.
I want to know what happened with Elizabeth Adams.
Louis, we haven't time for those details.
I'm sorry, Mother, but I want to know.
She was one of the receptacles for these monsters. I met her parents when she was born. One of the demons got inside her. The demon used her to spy on her father, John Adams. He is one of the founding fathers and vice president of the United States, you know.
Mortimer possessed her?
No, I don't think it was Mortimer. Her father, John Adams, hired me to tend to her, but the evil in her was too deep. In spite of the various treatments I tried on her, I never succeeded in getting it out of her. It's not something I'm proud of, Louis, but I had to try everything.
Mother, Did you kill her?
Of course not. Don't be stupid. I had no interest in getting rid of her.
Then who killed her?
Good. I think that's about right. We shall speak about it once we get back to France.
Great actions for humanity have been decided by demons for centuries, Louis. They are playing with our destiny. We are their slaves. And it's time for it to stop. By the way, what was Mortimer's project at this conference?
He wants the United States to occupy all the North American territory. France should recover Louisiana and give it to the United States. In that case, the Americans would just have to push west to chase the Spanish from the continent once and for all.
And as Mortimer controls Washington, you may just as well say that it will put him at the head of a world superpower. We should do our utmost to put a stop to Mortimer's plans. But for the time being, there are more pressing matters.
Are you going to tell me why we're here?
There. That's why we are here.
Reassure me, we aren't going to have to force that one, are we?
I don't think we're even capable of doing it. You're going to have to find a way to open it.
Why, of course. And what's inside?
Something to vanquish them with?
Perfect. So, how does it open?
We'll need several keys. I found a note from the architect who conceived the mechanism in Mortimer's secret study. We have to first gather 5 objects before we try anything.
Are the 5 objects the keys?
Exactly. We have the Clement III cross, the nails, the Gutenberg Bible, the exegesis of Judas, an armillary sphere, and all we need to match up the dates between the different calendars.
Why a cross?
Well, I haven't the foggiest idea, but it just so happens that's what you are going to use to activate the mechanism. I found the one Mortimer kept. It belonged to Cardinal Guibert, better known by the name of Pope Clement III.
Perfect. Where is it?
Unfortunately, I've lost it. When I lost my hand, I went dashing out, and it must have fallen from my pocket.
Remember, Mother. I'm certain you can remember.
Let me think.
You were running.
I was bleeding to death.
You remember the pain.
I thought I was going to faint. Yes, I remember. I don't think it can be far, can it?
Would you have lost it outside?
No, I don't think so. It must be in the area. I don't remember going up with it.
Perfect. I'll search the crypt before leaving. Some nails?
Don't ask me. I'm not the one who made the mechanism, you know. When I arrived, there were already a few of them inserted, so I didn't have to worry about those. On the other hand, I remember seeing some in Mortimer's secret study, behind his nightmare.
In a golden cup? Yes. Yes, I saw them too.
Perfect. It will be easy for you to find them then. You need 3 of them.
Very well.
You remember what to do about the rollers. 1191 to enter, and 6466 to exit.
Of course. An exegesis. Anything else?
Did you manage to vanquish the Medusa?
To open the chimney? Yes, absolutely.
So you've already come across it. It's the Bible of Judas that is exposed in the secret room behind the chimney.
Why do they call it an exegesis?
Because that's what it is, and not an apocryphal Bible, strictly speaking. It's the study of a text with a summary, not an actual Bible. Anyway, well done for the Gorgon. You did well. You didn't get tricked by the light bouncing back.
Thanks. Do you think I can take it safely?
We haven't got a choice, Louis. Without it, we won't be able to work out this cursed mechanism.
This is the book in which you left your correspondence with Duchess Hillsborough, isn't it?
That's right.
You still believe it's in the tower room, don't you?
I don't know. There is only one way to find out, though.
Right. I shall go and see. There's one in the portrait gallery.
Yes, but it's enormous. If you don't want to have to go back and forth several times, then I suggest you get a smaller one.
What did you do then?
I didn't think I'd need one. I started without one, and I lost my hand before I did need one. And you can see the result.
What do you mean by the concordance of dates exactly?
Don't worry about that. We already have them. They are written on the back of the message I just gave you. One last thing before you go. Be very careful. If you come across anyone, they can all potentially be spies of Mortimer or Holm. Don't ever confide in anyone because a demon can slip inside them at any moment.
Wait, not all of them though. Take Washington.
Especially Washington. He's been conditioned by Mortimer for years. Look at them, for crying out loud. How do you explain their behavior otherwise? The most influential politicians in the Western world gather together without the least protection, without a single aid to assist them, to participate in a conference during which the guests start dropping like flies. Me, Adams, Peru, Hillsborough. Look at the number of calamities that have happened over the past few days.
The servant?
And not one of them has asked to leave the island? Do you find that normal? You'll see. Go up to the manor to look for the keys, and I wager not one of them will speak to you about my being in Emily's room.
Do you think so?
Go on, you'll see. And come back with all the objects in one go. Time is against us.
And remember, the code to get out of the secret office is 6466.
Cash.
Famous cross of Claymont III.
Perfect. One key found.
Okay. This way, and then we're gonna go this way, and then we're gonna go this way, and we're gonna go over here.
Golden elixir.
So that's where I just came from, right? I haven't been in a small salon at all, so maybe that's where this other thing is. I really don't want to talk to you. I just want you to... really nothing here.
I have no space left. I'll retrieve it later.
Maybe I have been here. I have.
Chronicles of the Amber Princes. As I recall, Dorkin was my favorite character.
Alright. Actually, I don't want to speed through it because I realized I just found a $10 game I was going to get on PS. Yeah, on sale for 99 cents. Nice.
Not too shocked.
I beg your pardon?
About Peru this morning. I asked you if you weren't too shocked by it all.
Yes, of course. I still can't believe it.
And neither can I. How could he do that to us? There are increasingly fewer and fewer of us on Mortimer's side. I don't see at all how we are going to win the conference.
Tell me. I was wondering. You wouldn't know where to find an armillary sphere, would you?
Do you really think this is the right time? Oh, ask Volner. I am sure he will know. What with him being passionate about astronomy, you ought to get on fine together. Leave me now. I need to think of a solution.
I won't keep you any longer. See you later, monsieur.
God damn it, Orishe! Are you joking or what? You sell me pipe dreams about Mortimer's project, and a few hours later, one of your allies completely breaks down. Is this what Mortimer's side is all about? What am I going to do now?
Calm down. What's your name? Hermanoi. You're immune to politics.
Come now, my Lord Duke. You know very well that at this level, things can get pretty rough. You ought to be used to it. Rest assured, Lord Mortimer has bounced back before. It's not an issue.
What can I do for you?
I'm dreaming. My mother was right. He's not going to tell me one word about what happened to Emily.
To tell you the truth, I'm in search of an armillary sphere. You wouldn't know where I can find it, would you?
Well, well. So you do have a passion for astronomy. Von Volner has already bored me quite enough with all of his endless stories. You ought to concentrate, Louis. Politics is an art that requires all one's attention. Refrain from spreading yourself too thin, and leave stargazing to the poets.
What can I say? I'm only...
Ask Volner. I am sure he must have it among his effects.
Perfect.
Thank you, my Lord Duke.
Leave me now.
See you later.
Alright. Nothing around here, right? Running, running, and running, 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 and running, running. Woohoo! What game? Omni. Shalnor Legends.
Right.
It's a Zelda-like game.
Let's see if the statues are in place yet. That statue is not positioned correctly. Open sesame.
Oh good, it's not locked.
So that's the exegesis of Judas. I hope Mortimer doesn't read it very often, otherwise he's going to notice that someone's stolen it. But that's just too bad. I need it. Caesar's laurel wreath. If Mortimer really is what my mother says he is, the ring of the Nibelungs. Even if Mortimer is several centuries old, I don't see what part he has in this legend. Right. I've got what I need. Now let's not waste any more time.
Alright. Run around here, make sure I got everything. And then upstairs we go. Then we'll go into the tower realm.
Ah, Louis. Glad you're here.
Blasted. He's gonna talk about my mother.
Come and see what I've found. There are pieces of paper in the ashes of the chimney. Someone's been burning something here.
Incredible. He doesn't seem to want to speak to me about what happened between my mother and the Hillsborough sisters.
Show me a little.
Look, it's possible to distinguish two different writing styles.
The rest of the correspondence between my mother and Emma.
Someone tried to burn an exchange of messages. I'm certain there must be more.
Shit. What on earth is he doing?
You see me into politics.
If you want my opinion, a servant must have burnt some old papers. Oops. That's all.
Why, of course. You very nearly made me think that you were trying to hide something, Louis. No, I'm sure there must be other hidden messages.
He won't let go. He's going to work his way back to the Bible if he continues.
Hey, look, there.
No, I don't see anything.
Come, Louis, look. Someone's clearly drawn a 4 in the dust. I have a clue.
I better take the Bible before he works his way back to it.
Oh, that's gonna be really easy.
The Bible's still there.
I guess while I'm here,
Right. This time, it'll be a lot quicker. If I remember rightly, the code was 1191.
course.
Weaknesses of the Human Psyche by Gilhelm Trimor. Gilhelm Trimor. Trimor, an anagram of Mortimer. Wow. Arrogant enough to publish writings on mental control in full view of everyone. I wonder who he's writing for. If Mortimer's plan succeeds, the United States will indeed double in size. It would mean the end of the Spanish presence in North America.
Golden elixir. Consume without excess.
There. Those are the nails I was looking for. Feathers, pigeons probably. Looks like obsidian or onyx. It must weigh a ton. What on earth could that be? A Van Leeuwenhoek microscope? The most sophisticated microscope there is. All right, come on, let's get out of here. 6466, if I remember correctly.
Oh, jeez.
Monsieur Jacques Perru, Monsieur Napoléon Bonaparte.
Duchess Emily Hillsborough.
Godoy, Ricochet, Washington, Adam, Von Warner. Oh man, it was all the way on the other side. Damn it. Running, running, and running, running.
Monsieur Johann van Woolner.
Yeah, there it is.
An armillary sphere. Perfect. That will save me some time.
Yoink.
I only hope that he isn't going to realize it right away.
He's not even in the room. Then go downstairs. So we go this way, over here, this way and around.
So, good. You've managed to gather all the keys.
Yes, that's right. I have everything. What should I start with?
Place the Clement III cross on the console. Then you have to put the nails on the disc of the door.
What hole should I put the nails in?
Well, I can't really advise you there, because I haven't exactly made the best choices myself. All I can say is that you have to insert 1 to choose a town, 1 to choose a chapter, and 1 to choose a verse.
What theme did you start with?
As the fresco shows the birth of Christ, I placed 1 nail in Bethlehem, 1 in chapter 2, and 1 in verse 6. The iris opened a little. I thought it was normal. Behind the aperture of the iris, there is a duct in which I put my hand. I felt something like a valve at the bottom. I thought by turning it the door would open, or the iris would open completely, or something else would happen. Instead, I felt something like an axe cut off my hand. I really thought it was the end of me.
What did you do then?
Well, although I had made some unfortunate choices, I was lucky in that Mortimer was well stocked with drugs. I raided his supplies of medicine.
All right, my turn now.
Go ahead, impress me. I'll shut up and let you concentrate.
The cycle of the moons has nothing to do with what I'm doing right now. It looks like there are 3 types of inscriptions. Clearly, we have names of towns, Arabian numerals, and Roman numerals. These towns have one thing in common. They're all related to the life and death of Jesus. For example, Jordan is the place of the baptism of Christ. The fresco clearly shows the birth of Christ.
Louis, I can assure you that that is not the solution to this enigma. This fresco's only purpose is to mislead. I know that now. Please, focus on another theme about Christ.
I'll have to trust her. Yes, it's definitely a representation of the birth of Christ, but some of the details have flaked away. I can't see any other clues. One thing is for sure, this enigma deals with the life of Jesus, like my mother said. You could see that the paint has come off in parts. Difficult to see what was there, but I can distinguish the letters N-R-I, nothing more. Why, of course, they're part of the initials I-N-R-I that you can find on the cross of Jesus at his crucifixion. This exegesis contains comments from Judas on the different Gospels. It only contains certain chapters and verses, and the chapters are indicated by Roman numerals. The lexicon refers to different chapters and verses from the exegesis of Judas. Chapter 19, verse 17. Jesus was crucified on the 8th of Nisan, 3793, in a place near Jerusalem. The Romans put a crown of thorns on his head.
Chapter 19, verse 17. And he, bearing his cross, went forth into a place called the place of a skull, which is called in the Hebrew Golgotha, where they crucified him, and 2 others with him, on either side, and Jesus in the midst. Chapter 14, verse 22. On the 7th of Nisan, 3793, Jesus shared his Last Supper in the Cenacle in Jerusalem. Chapter 5, verse 2. Jesus cures the sick and lame on the 8th of Adar, 3791, in Jerusalem, at the pool of Bethesda. All stand and fling away their canes. The cycle of the moons has nothing to do with what I'm doing right now. Chapter 19, verse 17. Jesus was crucified on the 8th of Nisan, 3793, in a place near Jerusalem. The Romans put a crown of thorns on his head.
Well, artificial proven luck can restore the greed. You will need several items which to open it. Correspondence to dates with different calendars.
Chapter 19, verse 17. And he, bearing his cross, went forth into a place called the place of a skull, which is called in the Hebrew Golgotha, where they crucified him, and 2 others with him, on either side, and Jesus in the midst.
What hole should I put the nails in?
Well, I can't really advise you there, because I haven't exactly made the best choices myself. All I can say is that you have to insert 1 to choose a town, 1 to choose a chapter, and 1 to choose a verse.
So it's
Chapter 19, verse 17. Jesus was crucified on the 8th of Nisan, 3793, in a place near Jerusalem. The Romans put a crown of thorns on his head. Chapter 19, verse 17. And he, bearing his cross, went forth into a place called the place of a skull, which is called in the Hebrew Golgotha, where they crucified him, and 2 others with him, on either side, and Jesus in the midst.
alright. So let's lose my hand. It's 14. Wait, was it?
Chapter 19.
17.
Verse 17. Jesus was crucified on the 8th of Nisan, 3793, in a place near Jerusalem. The Romans put a crown of thorns on his head.
And it's the
Chapter
same thing,
19,
yeah.
verse 17. And he, bearing his cross, went forth into a place called the place of a skull, which is called in the Hebrew Golgotha, where they crucified him, and 2 others with him, on either side, and Jesus in the midst.
1917. Okay.
It works.
Well done, Louis. I hadn't seen those other wheels. Try connecting the theme to see if it goes all the way.
There must surely be a connection between the wheels. There are different icons on this wheel, but it looks like some of them can't be connected to the other wheels.
Mother, what do you think?
As I told you, I didn't get that far. Nevertheless, these icons do represent moments in the life of Christ.
This wheel contains several symbols made up of 1 or 2 figures and 1 letter. The highest figure does not exceed 31, and each letter corresponds to a month of the year. A for April, and M for March. I think these symbols must represent a specific date. This wheel represents the different moons. In the occult sciences, we represent the full moon by an X. As for the dark moon, called the new moon, in cults, it's often associated with something harmful.
Look at this. There are notches between each of the wheels. So, I have to link the name of the town from the theme I've chosen to an icon, then to a date, and finally, the date to the moon.
Does that make sense?
I think I can make out each one of the icons apart from the one covered in blood.
Going clockwise from the one I just mentioned, we have the halo that represents the resurrection. The waves represent the baptism of Jesus. It's more difficult to identify the next one. Maybe a crib, and in that case it's surely linked to the birth of Christ. The red herring that my mother followed. Then, the symbol represents the crown of thorns that Jesus wore during his crucifixion. The dove also represents the baptism. Certainly another red herring. Then comes the symbol of the Trinity. And finally, the candle that must stand for the Last Supper.
Okay, so I had that right.
Chapter 19, verse 17. Jesus was crucified on the 8th of Nisan, 3793, in a place near Jerusalem. The Romans put a crown of thorns on his head. Chapter 19, verse 17. And he, bearing his cross, went forth into a place called the place of a skull, which is called in the Hebrew Golgotha, where they crucified him, and 2 others with him, on either side, and Jesus in the midst.
Okay. So the 8th of Nisan. So the 8th of Nisan is the 26th of March.
During new moon, the moon is entirely in the shadow. Then, the shadow moves from west to east, meaning left to right, and goes through the following states: waxing crescents, first quarter, waxing gibbous, full moon, waning gibbous, last quarter, waning crescent, and the cycle starts over with the full shadowed new moon.
Oh, I need to figure out what the translation is. Alright, so then I go back to my notes. 8th of Nisan is equivalent to 7th Shaban.
Seventh of Shaban, 607, first quarter. The moon shadow moves from west to east.
What?
During new moon, the moon is entirely in the shadow. Then, the shadow moves from west to east, meaning left to right, and goes through the following states: waxing crescents, first quarter, waxing gibbous, full moon, waning gibbous, last quarter, waning crescent, and the cycle starts over with the full shadowed new moon.
Okay. So then I go here. '26th of March. Yes. Is that first quarter?
Let's see what combination corresponds to the chosen theme.
Because you got to think. Since wheels.
In the occult sciences, we represent the full moon by an X. As for the dark moon, called the new moon, in cults, it's often associated with something harmful.
Let's see what combination corresponds to the chosen theme.
All right, here we go.
I can feel the lever at the bottom.
Good luck.
I didn't die. Alright, that's the end of episode 3 with my arm cut off. Oh man, what's the answer to that puzzle? Hold on. Should we left none? I'm gonna be really mad if I got it wrong because of the moon. This is dumb. The guide I'm reading tells me it's hard to read, so reference something else. I'm like, no, wait. Oh, no, I don't want to watch a video. Okay, I picked the wrong moon, I think. Yeah. Because I had the right idea. I definitely was looking for a first quarter, but the moon I picked was not the first quarter. So, once again... oh, man. Okay, what do I want to do? Yeah, okay. So we'll wrap it up there. And then we'll finish up the game tomorrow. We got episodes 4 and episode 5 to go through. that one seemed pretty short. I'm on track for the level 15 achievement because that's the only concern I have. Sleeping Doggo. Yeah, we'll go from there. And I'm wondering what kind of negative I'm going to have by not having... Man, my mom and me both don't have any more hands. So, anyway, as always, thank you everyone for being here. C McG, thanks for jumping in. Omnicron VT, thanks for jumping in here. Thanks for finding out the 7th sound bit file. We're going to run a commercial. And after we run the commercial, then we'll go and find someone to host and raid. Okay? So, thank you guys once again. And I'll be right back. It's funny because I can hear it on my side, but because this screen doesn't have gaming PC audio, you didn't hear it. Next time. Alright, thank you guys. Bye.